Plus the QB Super Bowl fallout, the 49ers' final word on Jimmy G's fourth quarter collapse, and the price for Patrick Mahomes' next contract in Kansas City. Also, inside the Sixers' identity crisis, how Joel Embiid and Philly can flip their fortunes against Giannis and the Bucks tonight. And PTI's bonus segment. Tony and Mike weigh in on the Knicks' major decision to make a sports super agent their new team president. This is SportsCenter.
I always try to figure out why so many people care about me. Just a regular guy.
Here's Sage Steele and Kevin Nagandi.
Okay, so Andre Drummond, his 8-year career with the Pistons, it's over. Wait until you hear what he said before and then after he was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Never dull. Now, before the 3 p.m. trade deadline, we saw 9 deals featuring 15 NBA teams and one move that could play a big role this spring out west. The Clippers beat out the Lakers on adding a 20-point scorer. Marcus Morris going coast to coast, headlining the final day of NBA trades. The 30-year-old Morris is headed to the Clippers' 3-team deal that includes the Knicks and Wizards. Isaiah Thomas also part of the trade, but will be waived by the Clippers. The Warriors are sending D'Angelo Russell to the Timberwolves for Andrew Wiggins and a pair of draft picks. Russell was the number 2 pick in the 2015 draft. He'll now team up with Karl Anthony Towns, the top pick in that draft. The Andre Iguodala deal is now complete, as he, along with Jay Crowder and Solomon Hill, are going to the Heat in a 3-team deal. The Grizzlies will get Justice Winslow, Dion Waiters, and Gorgie Jang, and the Timberwolves will get James Johnson. And the NBA's leading rebounder, Andre Drummond, is going to the Cavs. The Pistons will receive Brandon Knight, John Henson, and a second-round pick in return. Now, looking at the full Marcus Morris deal, the Clippers will get Morris along with Isaiah Thomas. He'll be waived. The Knicks will get Mo Harkless and a 2020 first-round pick, while the Wizards will get Jerome Robinson. Guy who's been all over this story, NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski joining us live. All right, the Lakers were in hot pursuit of Morris. How did the Clippers win this battle?
Kevin, the Clippers just had some assets and pieces that just fit a little better for what the Knicks wanted. They moved out a first-round pick. They moved out a young player in Jerome Robinson, who just was a first-round pick 2 years ago. So for the Clippers, their thought all along was, if we get Marcus Morris, we have a closing lineup in the playoffs of 5 two-way players who can do it on both ends of the floor. This was a player they have wanted since free agency last summer. They thought they had to deal with him in July. They finally got him today. All
right, later on SportsCenter, much more on the Lakers standing pat. Woj will have much more on the Wiggins-Russell trade in just a minute. Right now, Sage has much more on the Marcus Morris deal. Sage?
Yes, Kevin, thank you. Tim Legler is here for that. And the Lakers, again, did not make a move, but the Clippers did. And then it was this big piece with adding Marcus Morris. What impact, Tim, specifically, do you see him having with this team?
Well, you're talking about now plugging another guy into the 4 spot that can give you 15 to 20 points a night if he's got it going, and also is going to guard. He's got a toughness to him. He's got an edge to him. To Woj's point, now they have lineups they can put on the floor with much more defensive versatility and size, but you're not sacrificing as much offensively as they were at that spot. Look, I picked the Clippers to win the title before the season. I haven't really wavered in that because I just know they weren't going to put their foot on the gas till later in the year, so it's almost been tough to judge them. This, to me, definitively makes them the favorite to win the title this year.
What he has done this season, too, 30 years old, putting up career numbers, that's a big deal. So good timing for the Clippers. You understand why there was an argument for it. Kevin, back over to you.
As for the other big move made today, D'Angelo Russell is heading off to his 4th team in 5 years, now joining fellow 2015 draftee Karl Anthony Towns with the Timberwolves. That team is falling apart right now. In return, the number 1 pick in the 2014 draft, that is Andrew Wiggins. And he's going to the Warriors along with a 2021 first-round pick. That is a top 3 protected pick, by the way, and a 2021 second-round pick. Woj is back here with us. So when you look at Wiggins, he's only 24. Second year of a 5-year max deal, paying him $148 million. What does this now mean for Wiggins and the Warriors?
Well, it means that Andrew Wiggins doesn't have to live with the burden of being the number 1 overall pick, a player expected to be a savior to carry a franchise. That's not who he is, and that's not what he is going to do in the NBA. But now he goes to a Warrior team where he'll ask to be the 3rd, even the 4th option at times. Listen, this is a team that won 73 games with Harrison Barnes at that same position. They don't need Andrew Wiggins to carry the burden of the number 1 overall pick. Now, with Andre Drummond going to the Cavaliers, they gave up virtually nothing for him, really just a second-round pick. And this is a player now who's only 26 years old, who fits the age of their young core, great rim running big to play with their young guards, and they get a couple months here to have him on their roster, get a good look at him to decide whether they're going to offer him the kind of extension they might offer him. But Cleveland traded for him with the idea Drummond will be there long term.
Keep this in mind now. With this trade, the Cavaliers have now 3 of the top 13 rebounders in the league. Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love, they're in that as well. Sage has much more on another veteran move.
Yes, Kevin, Andre Iguodala, he got what he wanted. He's on the move, and he is going to Miami. So let's look at what this entire trade looks like. In addition to Iggy, Jay Crowder and Solomon Hill head to South Beach, while the Grizzlies, they get Justice Winslow, Deion Waiters, and Gorgie Jang. James Johnson is one who heads to Minnesota. Here is Iguodala's reaction to the trade, followed by one of his now former teammates in Memphis who did not hold back. Listen.
Jimmy Butler, obviously proven as one of those guys who he's looked at as different, but very well respected in terms of the passion and the hard work that he brings to the game. And I feel like his temperament and, the values that he has really resonates with the Miami Heat, and they very well align.
Now we have a player that we're getting that actually wants to play with us and thinks we're good. And, we keep the ball rolling.
Listen, I kind of like that Dylan Brooks has been honest about this whole thing. Hey, if you don't want to be here, fine, go. We'll show you why you should miss us. In the meantime, though, the Bucks, Tim, they're running away with the Eastern Conference. Yesterday here on SportsCenter, Stephen A. Smith said he thinks it is the Heat. They're going to be able to push the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. And now they add Iguodala. How does he change that?
Iguodala moves the needle for me. I think ultimately, prior to this move, I would have said the Toronto Raptors to me look like the most complete team, and I wouldn't underestimate what it means to be a champion and what they now believe about themselves. This moves the needle in a huge way for the Miami Heat, because you're talking about a guy that immediately, despite missing half a season, is going to be a facilitator for their shooters, and Bam Adebayo. He's a guy, obviously, that's made his reputation in this league defensively. So now you put he out there along with Jimmy Butler. That's locked down on both wings when you go man. And not only that, it's veteran presence, Sage. This is a champion walking into the locker room with a super high IQ. Means everything to those guys. For me now, I look at the Heat and I say they're right there in the mix. Would not be shocked to see the Heat make a run at the conference final. I think all of these teams believe Milwaukee can be had if you get them in a 7-game series where you can focus on a game plan to slow down Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's impossible to deal with in the regular season. We saw it last year against the Raptors. They came up with a game plan, they executed it, they took them out. I think these teams all believe that. Miami, Boston, Indiana, Toronto. Philly's a little bit of a mess right now, but they have the talent also. It's really tight at the top of the East.
They're still 7 games up, but still, 8 weeks or so to go before the postseason begins. You mentioned Philly. That was the team that was supposed to challenge Milwaukee atop the East. Not so much. Legs coming back later to discuss what's up with the Sixers. Kevin.
Looking forward to that. Coming up, the QB Super Bowl fallout featuring the 49ers' final word on Jimmy G's fourth quarter collapse and the price for Patrick Mahomes' next deal in Kansas City. And PTI's bonus segment, Tony and Mike weigh in on the Knicks' major decision to make a sports super agent their new team president. This is SportsCenter.